afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. With the new year just underway, it may seem like the gardening season is a long way off, but that's not necessarily the case. UVM Extension's 2016 Master Gardener program starts next month. It's an opportunity to be trained in research-based home horticultural practices. Over 3,000 Vermonters have taken the Master Gardener course, and there are currently more than 900 active volunteers around the state. Some of those volunteers help their fellow Vermonters every day at the Master Gardener Helpline.
If you've got a question about your garden, Carl Dorner is your man.
Vermont Master Gardener Helpline.
Dorner volunteers at the University of Vermont Extension Master Gardener Call Center.
Do you have a lot of these plants? Do they all look the same? I enjoy talking to people, number one. I believe in the mission of Extension, and that's probably my primary reason. I think it's important to provide access to science-based research in the solution of horticulture and agricultural problems, and to extend that information to homeowners, not just to commercial growers. And that's what we do here. So I find it very rewarding. I like being able to set people's mind at rest. People invest a lot of themselves into their gardens and their home landscapes. And when they have a problem, it's a problem. If you have any further questions, please feel free to give us a call.
Volunteers at the Helpline take about 2,000 calls a year. Since the Vermont Master Gardener program started in 1991, the Helpline has received 42,000 calls. Heather Carrington is the program's coordinator.
The UVM Extension Master Gardener Helpline is a resource for all Vermonters to get answers to their home gardening questions. It's staffed entirely by volunteers who have been trained in the Extension Master Gardener course. So they've had 45 hours of training from UVM Extension faculty on all aspects of sustainable home horticulture. There aren't that many resources that are available for the home gardener. There are plenty of resources available for commercial gardeners, but what this does is it gives all Vermonters access to the research-based information being developed at the University of Vermont.
The Helpline aligns with UVM's obligation as a land-grant university.
It's one of the missions of Extension, actually, as a land-grant university, to share the science-based information research that's being developed there. So we really do keep it exactly to that. In fact, actually, our volunteers are prohibited from giving that sort of folksy home remedies answer to questions. So they actually have to use research and science-based information, and that's what they've been trained in the first place as Extension Master Gardeners. When they're doing research on it, they'll only refer to .edu, which would be university-based websites, or .gov websites. So they're not going to be looking into folk remedies.
Rob-Lee Smith became a Master Gardener this year. For her, volunteering at the Helpline provides an experience as distinct as Vermont itself.
Plants are so vital to our life. I mean, it's not simply food and shelter and clothing, but the oxygen we breathe. It is the biology of life, and so that's terribly important. You know, it's so nice to be able to specialize in Vermont's gardening, because that is unique, and you can't gain that knowledge anywhere else.
Thanks to the internet, there are more resources and more information. But all those pages and websites can't replace talking with someone one-on-one.
I think people want the interaction. This phone, this interactive resource, I think is more valuable to people than just browsing the internet for information. And that's what I want. I want to be able to tell someone what's going on, to hear get feedback from them as to maybe I'm not thinking about the most important thing. I think the interactive nature of our work is what people are looking for, and it's what I look for when I call.
The UVM Extension Master Gardener Helpline, a resource for answers to your gardening questions. Pick up the phone and give them a call. In South Burlington, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
Well, thanks, Keith. To find out about the 2016 Master Gardener course, I'm joined by the state coordinator of the program, Heather Carrington. Welcome. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Keith.
So in a nutshell, what is the Extension Master Gardener program?
The Extension Master Gardener program is a Train the Trainer program. We provide a 13-week course, which is just about to start in February. And that's provided by UVM faculty, and it provides all sorts of information on sustainable home gardening practices. Then after that, people who have taken the class go on to become volunteers and share that information with their communities. It really is a fantastic way for people to take their passion for gardening and share it with Vermonters as a whole.
So what kinds of things does the course cover?
The course really starts out slowly and builds. So it starts out with basics of botany, soil science, integrated pest management, and then it moves on from there to more practical applications of the information. So vegetable gardening, fruit cultivation, annuals and perennials, and sustainable home landscaping. And as I said, it's taught primarily by UVM faculty. So it is a way for Vermonters to get access to the latest science-based research.
Do you have to be like an avid, experienced gardener?
No, you don't. And frankly, we've had people from the age of 14 to well into their 80s take this course in the past, and people who have background in the green industry take it and say repeatedly, well, I had no idea that I had so much to learn.
And so there's some upgrades to the program in 2016. How is this year going to be different?
We're really excited this year to be able to offer the program online. So we're doing live interactive webinars. It will still be offered 13 Tuesday evenings from 6:15 until 9 p.m. starting on February 2nd. But the difference is, at this point, rather than traveling to a studio to watch the class, you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. And in addition to that, we're recording all of the live webinars. So for people who can't make the commitment to every Tuesday evening, they can watch a recorded, archived episode.
Well, that's a lot more convenient.
It is. It is. We're hoping that we'll give access to a lot more people that way.
And so tell me a little bit about the types of volunteer projects that the Extension Master Gardeners work on.
We have about 110 projects that are currently ongoing.
Wow.
We have them in every county. There are local chapters that run the program. So we do all sorts of things, but really the signature things that Master Gardeners do are Ask a Master Gardener tables, the Helpline, as you saw in the video, just taking Vermonters' questions about gardening. And if they don't have the answer right there, they can certainly get it for you and get it to you. So we have a whole system in place for doing that. In addition to that, we work a lot with schools, community gardens, municipalities, and parks. There are a lot of demonstration gardens, Plant a Row for the Hungry Gardens. There's a really broad spectrum of things available to Master Gardeners.
Now, people who take the course, are they required to do this, or is it a volunteer?
They are not required to do this. It's a little over half of the students do decide to go on and become Master Gardeners. That is a process in itself. It's a 40-hour commitment to do volunteer work on approved projects over the course of 2 years after completing the program. And then after that, you become a certified Master Gardener and you can start your own projects. And
well, that's pretty
projects.
exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting.
And so what you mentioned, the people that take this course are between, some have been as young as 14, some older than that. Is there a typical age, or do you just have to have an interest?
You just have to have an interest. I would say that in the past, it's been skewing a little bit toward retirees because they have the time to do the volunteer work and to mentor other people. So it's a great way to be active in your community.
Well, we're going to take a moment now to see some Master Gardener volunteers in action. This past summer, our Rebecca Gollin was in Burlington, where she found Master Gardeners beautifying the city and providing sound gardening information.
It's Saturday morning in Burlington, and residents and tourists alike are flocking to the farmers market. There's local food and craft to satisfy every taste. But just around the corner are some locally grown items that are not for sale.
Everything that you see in the front here are all annuals. In the back are all mostly perennials. So it's a mixture, so we have constant color.
Here at the entrance to Church Street, color abounds.
The zinnias do really well here, so we've kept with that for quite a while. The petunias really do well here. We've tried a few other things, but the petunias seem to do the best. And of course, it's the weather. So we never know what it's going to be. So this year it's just really exceptional.
While the weather does contribute to this bounty of flowers, the credit for keeping everything looking good goes to volunteers like Jill Lamoth.
We start with planting in the spring, around May, and then from then on it's deadheading, keeping things cleaned and looking nice.
As a UVM Extension certified Master Gardener, Lamoth volunteers her time. She's the project leader here at the gardens in front of Burlington City Hall, where she and other volunteers spend their Saturday mornings tending these plants.
It is only a few hours a week, but sometimes that's all you need just to keep things looking nice. I love gardening, so when I walk through here, when we're not working on the gardens, you know, it's kind of nice to say, oh, we worked in those, and it really adds something to the marketplace.
The City Hall project is in coordination with Church Street Marketplace as well as the City of Burlington. And the Master Gardeners there both provide hands-on gardening work outside City Hall, but they also answer questions as they're there. So they're there basically to share the information that they learned during the Extension Master Gardener course with their communities.
Although it does get busy here on Church Street, Lamothe says that she and her colleagues always have time to field those questions from anyone passing by, although she doesn't claim to have all the answers.
If it's something we can't answer, we'll refer them to the table on the other side.
Not only you don't have to bend over, but it actually gets them warmer faster. And
on the other side of City Hall, another group of Master Gardeners is taking questions.
We get a pretty steady stream of people, and the interesting thing to me is they come with many different problems, many different situations. You know, some of them are living in apartments, some of them have big spreads, some of them have very small yards, some of them are vegetables, some of them are only perennials, whatever. And a lot of them are from Vermont, but not every one of them.
It's great. We see, you know, people from actually all over the world, and, you know, a lot of Master Gardeners from all over the country. You know, they'll say, oh, I'm a Master Gardener from Virginia, or my husband is one in Washington State. And, you know, we get a lot of local questions. I just got a question from someone in Fire Island, I think that's in Long Island, about what can they do about, you know, the deer eating their plants. You know, we get houseplant questions. You name it, we get it. You know, someone brought in 3 apples, and what kind are these? It's like, well, I need to see the tree.
Susan Dorn and Michael Rooney are married, and together are the project leaders for the Master Gardeners information table at the farmers market. Both the City Hall Garden and the Ask a Gardener table are examples of the hundreds of projects Master Gardeners are involved in around the state.
Master Gardeners are doing all kinds of hands-on projects. They work especially with schools, community gardens, libraries, senior centers, parks, and main streets across the state. This last year alone, Master Gardeners donated over 14,000 hours to improving their communities.
Rooney and Dorn were both experienced gardeners when they took the class, but both say they learned a lot.
You learn so much from many of the experts in this state. It's a very low-key course. You get beaucoup of information, and you get to know, you know, not just about your own garden and, you know, vegetables and flowers, but, you know, you get to see, you know, learn about the trees and the wildlife outdoors and what invasives are growing that, you know, you should help not promote, and you maybe, you know, cut down this invasive tree or take out this invasive bush so that you can benefit, you know, the entire environment, even if you don't have a garden.
Been gardening all my life, even done some dairy farming, and came to the point that I thought it would be good to go through the educational process and see what that did. And even after all those years of gardening, I learned more from going through the course than I thought I would.
For this couple, like many others who become Master Gardeners, just learning is not enough. They also want to share their knowledge with others.
There's something about giving back part of what we got out of the course to other people. And if you don't give it back, they don't get it, and they don't pass it on to somebody else.
Teaching their neighbors and communities what it takes to keep plants healthy, these UVM Extension Master Gardeners are hard at work, passing it on. In Burlington, I'm Rebecca Gollin with Across the Fence.
Volunteers are busy, but it looks like they really enjoy what they're doing, and it's very social.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic, and they really develop networks. They don't just do the volunteer work together. You know, they have movie nights, they have book clubs. So it really is a great way to get involved.
And where can viewers find more information about the 2016 course?
They can go to our website at www.uvm.edu/mastergardener, or they can give us a call at our office. We'd be happy to talk with anyone. It's 802-656-9562.
And once again, folks who would be interested in this is just anybody who's interested in gardening.
That's right, and we're taking registrations now.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
That's our program for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.